This is Touchstone Pistachio Company's Spring and Bloom Market Update 2021. The market update will cover an analysis of shipments between October 2020 through April 2021. We will look at export shipments, top 5 export countries in the United States. We will review current pricing levels and offer some insight into future market activity, carryover, bloom, and new crop. Lastly, we will review the latest syndicated data from the U.S. domestic market. This chart represents year-to-date shipments through April for the past 4 years. Most of our comments will focus on a comparative analysis to 2018 shipments. The last year, both pricing and crop size were at comparable levels. North American shipments have continued to grow into the spring, with Mexico leading the effort with year-over-year growth of 28% and an impressive 47% gain compared to 2018. Lower pistachio prices have resonated well with our neighbors to the south. South American shipments have surpassed 2018 levels and are up 35%. Chile, Peru, and Colombia continue to lead consumption growth in this underdeveloped yet price-sensitive market. All eyes were on Europe, as many felt this market would be critical in increasing global demand in the spring. While countries like Belgium, Germany, Spain, and the United Kingdom showed significant gains in shipments, as a whole, the European market has been a bit of a disappointment, registering flat 3% compared to 2018. Some of the larger European retailers and food service operators will emphasize the impact of COVID on these numbers, and most expect consumption to increase as restrictions are lifted. Asia's market continued with its decline into the spring. With cheaper alternative supply out of Iran and Turkey, the mainland China and Hong Kong markets struggled to meet previous 2018 demand. China, down 5%, and Hong Kong, down 65%, did not see historical levels of consumption of U.S. pistachios during Chinese New Year. Coupled with limited closed shell availability in secondary markets, India and Vietnam, opting for product from Iran, the Asian market is down 30% compared to 2018. The Middle East continued its decline as well, given a preference for regional pistachio alternatives, down 2% versus last year and down 38% versus 2018. Most anticipate the Middle East to revert back to U.S. pistachios next season, given smaller crop projections out of both Turkey and Iran. Oceania continues to underperform versus 2018, down 33%. Mainland China had a strong performance leading up to Chinese New Year. Unfortunately, heading into the spring, shipments have dropped off, down 5% versus 2018, as sales and consumption failed to gain momentum post-Chinese New Year. Rumors of unsold inventory, distressed cargo, and etc. have filled the marketplace these last few months. What was clear was the impact of Iranian product in this market and its impact on driving demand heading into the summer months. U.S. shipments are up 7% versus 2018 and last year. Pistachio consumption during the pandemic has been disappointing at best. However, consumption has remained stable over the last 4 years in the industry's second largest market. Since sending a clear message and rejecting the opening price model in October, Hong Kong continued its decline, down 32% versus last year and down an astounding 65% versus 2018. Despite aggressive pricing overtures from some of the largest processors to contract more pounds, Hong Kong opted for an alternative supply in a year where its trading network was critical in moving a billion-pound crop. Germany, the Netherlands, and Spain led demand through the spring for Europe. However, while most expected greater demand out of this market, Europe as a whole fell flat, with sporadic demand compounded by supply chain disruptions. Touchstone wants to make it clear that this pricing is reflective of confirmed pricing we have gathered from the industry. It does not represent any one processor, but does represent a range of deals that have been confirmed. With most suppliers fully committed to this point, pricing on in-shell has firmed up in the last few months. A large supplier who is undersold is responsible for the low range of these offers. However, $3.80 on 21.25 seems to be a competitive price for markets outside of Asia and Europe. Closed shell sales continue to be scarce, while kernel pricing is held steady with solid interest at the $7.90 level. Touchstone's position on a projected carryover stands at around 250 million pounds. While this number was concerning earlier in the season, a recent frost event that ravaged Iran has reportedly impacted up to 50% of its crop. As one of our esteemed industry colleagues regarding these events so eloquently stated, it appears some larger processors were given a gift in the face of a large carryover, which now seems less problematic. In the domestic market, we will take a look at syndicated data for the 13-week period ending 4/18/21. This timeframe is critical as it captures the market's peak season consumption periods, Super Bowl and Heart Health Awareness Month. Pistachio sales were up across all major metrics: dollars, volume, and units. Pistachios moved to the second largest spot in terms of volume, second only to peanuts, with an impressive 25 million pounds sold during the reported period. Branded programs outperformed private label during this reporting period in both dollars and volume. Branded programs were up 12% and 10% respectively, while private label finished 7% and 3% for this reporting period. Pistachio bloom took place in April, leaving pistachio growers optimistic about the upcoming 2021 harvest. With normal appearing bud sets and nice weather heading into the nut fill late July, many feel next year's crop, technically an off year, will be record-setting. However, in late March, state and federal water authorities revised water allocations to 5% and a suspended 5% respectively, as California and the Central Valley brace for looming drought conditions in the wake of a dry winter. With dry conditions, expect some sort of impact to pistachio yields leading up to harvest. Nonetheless, most put the 2021 crop between 850 million and 1 billion pounds. While this seems like a large number, smaller crops out of Turkey and Iran will severely reduce the global supply for 2021-2022, and most expect pricing to continue to firm up in the summer months leading into harvest.